All right, back to work. Um, time. Guys, I can't overemphasize how much scientific information right now. All of it is inconclusive and invalid, especially in pertaining to any studies done by scientific organizations of the books and the stories and the people in regards to the books and the stories in rabbinic religion. Uh, um, uh, it specifically states in rabbinic religion to forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. So any studies and comparisons made of my family by other people that were engaging in debt and trespass to my family to judge their validity and their so forth. Any judgment they can place on me is inconclusive, and any judgments I place on them are valid. Okay. Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Okay, they're not doing that. So therefore, everything that they're doing goes in contrast to the commands, especially the ones that were called religions. The Vatican, the Quorum of the 12, any you know, Billy Graham type finance, John Davison Rockefeller founded, Antoine LaVey, Michael Kino, Temple of Set, any of that, Church of Scientology, any of that garbage, any of that hideous, bullshit, any of that, it's basically Bob Marley. Don't you look at me so smugly and say that I'm always bad? Who are you to judge me in the life that I lived? I know I'm not perfect and I don't claim to be. Before you point your fingers, make sure your hands are clean. Judge not, for you judge yourself. Past, present, future operate at the same time. All things being relative in that regard, as far as So, he was right. My cousin nailed him, and that's what happens when you connect to and connect with the spirit of John the Baptist. He's going to defend me, and he's going to protect me, and he's going to do it in ways that exceed perception of what's called the scientific community. People trying to use lie and pass it off as truth, and pass it off as evidence. And so this is already happening. And I can guarantee you this, by January 22nd, 2013, I had already done everything required for them not to have puzzles and riddles and Rubik's Cubics to getting the technology to be able to use utilized properly to communicate the truth of the Messiah, the truth of his religion, the truth of his application of physics, of linguistics, thoughts, words, and action, stuff like that. So anything that's happening now is basically, like Rockefeller said, to the bitter end. You're going to tell yourself what you want to hear. Tell man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. You're going to tell yourself lies to continue to be addicted to your lies because they make you feel powerful. They make you feel successful. They make you feel influential, When you're able to get money and TV cameras and have people, little kids going out doing charities and random acts of kindness that are, giving people flip-flops with get the cameras rolling, get the action going, baby, my porno love for you is real, so take me where you want to. If you steal my sunshine, shut up. Fuck, guys, you call it music, but it sucks. I went around on a moped today trying to pay my bills because everything's not okay because we're not living the Lord's Prayer and it sucks every day. Wait a minute, I'm using repetitive words. That's okay. Most songs do okay because it's got to rhyme with time to make money, so people are distracted by its redundancy and its lunacy to justify the insanity of our perpetual eternal wretchedness every day. I know I need more money to ride around and film myself on a moped with a girl singing "If You Steal My Sunshine" behind you. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? So please, shut up, Rabbit. There was a time of induced ignorance and innocence, in the time like back with, that's why I think people go back to, because they want to go back to that time, because they see hope is in their own family being their own tribe, their own family, that stupid Ely whatever thing on, the on the Cartoon Network with the, you watch that one, sand in my face, and it's like, oh god, what are you doing? Egomaniacs pretending they're like King David and myself, you know, they're like my nephew and Abraham and Muhammad, pretending like that, And you got these people that sat there. They told me that in Sierra Vista, that Muhammad was arrogant. A lady from the Mormon church, and I was like, what? He's arrogant. He thinks he knows everything and he's all that. It's like, no, he's just having trouble with his family. My dad and his dad are very similar. God is their protector named Jesus, who is perfect, and you cannot replace him, and he's better than everybody, and my dad can beat up your dad, and my dad's better than your dad. Okay? Remember that in school. Right? My dad can beat up your dad, and I would get to the point where I was like, why would my dad want to beat up your dad? Isn't that stupid? Doesn't your dad have to go work, fucking 50 and 60 hours a goddamn week for all these assholes that own the fucking town and have cameras in our bathroom if we're descended from the Holy Family? Okay, you're not descended from the Holy Family. That's why you keep telling me that your dad can beat up my dad. I seriously doubt it, and I'm pretty sure I can kick your ass pretty easy. So leave me the fuck alone. I just want to sit here and enjoy school. Why? Well, we're supposed to. Why? I don't know. Indoctrination, dictation, legislation. We don't spend nearly enough time with our parents. And we spend way too much time being trained by people that train us that our parents are only good if they do exactly what the gods of the world say. Complete assholes. Oh, they are. Trust me. Trust me. Okay. Thanks, man. Some of the conversations we had yesterday, Jeff, really helped. I know you still got the OCASA thing going on with your dad. That's something you'll work out. I just look forward to the day when, we're using the technology to apply the physics of the linguistics of the Lord's Prayer, so you can work that out, privately. As emotionally, there's just not a lot of. I'm sure he cried when he was a little kid, maybe a little bit, but you're talking about thousands of years of being compared and abused, Jeff. I know Mark. Mark said that if I had just one friend like you growing up, my whole life would have been completely different. It's like, that was a good point. I agree. Mark's lived a very brutal existence in eternity with, being an Apache Viking, and yeah, I know. I know how brutal I know. Yeah. Germanic, aggressive, violent, oppressive ways are that they're very brutal. Okay. Chinese ain't got nothing on us. Germans and British as far as being brutal and abusive. You watch that Cumberbuck with the Bilbo Baggins guy when he goes into that club and then he starts talking to somebody and the guy has somebody come manhandle him, abuse him because we don't talk like I did at the periodical. The magazine room upstairs at Thomas Brannigan with all the stupid academics and professors, I sit there and look at them, I'm talking in a room where you're not supposed to talk. You're just supposed to be indoctrinated by someone writing words on paper that are supposed to be sacred because they're in the damn fucking library, right? Hey, look, it's Adolf Hitler's, psychic reading from one of his psychics. Ooh, it's sacred writings, And so you're sitting there, and I told them that. I said, isn't reading a little bit overrated? Since the two most circulated books in the United States of America, behind the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran, are Mein Kampf and Turner's Bible. And none of them seem to be able to comprehend or understand or cut through any of the mythology in the first two, which makes the second two read a lot by morons trying to conquer the world with their greatness. It's totally insanity. So you're gonna sit here and read an egotistical prediction of a bunch of egotistical people that think what they have to share with the world through their capacity to express and communicate is better than people being extorted and exploited and tagged and raped and bagged in Mexico. I was so pissed. I was working my ass off to save those girls from the COVID genocide fiasco. They had really bad brain guys. Wow. Girls that have been turned into guys. You do know La Malinche was a sex slave from the Tuscalans, given to because she was real good at acquisition of language, like the little girls in because you have to be to adapt to survive, like the little girls in on the Amistad. Okay, women. That's why they have the cross hemisphere thing. Women adapt to survive because they get raped into groups, language, and how to survive within the language groups. Guys don't. My language, my penis, my cleats, my claws, my rules, my God I am. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so it's radically different. And then most of you guys out there, you do know that why most women hate men isn't mentioned in Lauryn Hill's that thing. Well, because most women hate men is because the main cause of most women's health problems is sodomy. Okay. And even you'll see even women will buy prophylactics from Castle Boutique, and women that try to act like men will do it to the women. Keep them in line, or they feel they deserve it because they're not living and they're not loving someone like Jesus Christ. And my wife screwed everybody in town everywhere we went. Okay. And then things got, because I was trying to compete with the Joneses with all the Jack Ryan, Jack Reacher murders and stuff where we, considered doing that and stuff like that. I didn't, but I'm sure the asshole subsequently did. I wouldn't put it past you or give sorry ass. And stand his face. Don't like him. Okay. I love everybody, and if that man jumps up tomorrow and says, NASA's a bunch of assholes. We should all use our cell phones to take Amy's, first husband and show everybody the world how King David overcomes Goliath in the 21st century. If Yorgiev did that, props, crumb. Go kick him in the dick and tell him, hey, I'm not physically kick him in the dick. Look him in the eyes and say, I can make you feel pain. You treated my sisters like, oh, the boy shouldn't be doing that. The girl should. Like the girls should be slaves and work and clean up after the men. You Bulgarian dumb bastard. What the fuck's wrong with you? Grow the fuck up. And then you have nerve to talk shit about gypsies. You act just like one. Tramping thief. We go buy a wife. You're going to go buy a wife. You get enough money to get together to buy a wife. Man, Pimp Daddy Nash, you suck, right? Well, there's a lot of valid criticisms towards gypsy culture. Okay, and if you don't understand that, then you can't be honest with yourself and you can't pull your head out of your own ass or your husband's dick out of your ass for punishing you for wrecking the car because you spent too much time at New York Catholic school, right? Okay, you want in New York? You got New York. Man, I got shit to clean up. I don't have time to, time is a precious gift from the glory of God and not a science experiment from the egos of assholes, And so this kind of crap needs to stop immediately, and we need to start healing this planet and healing people right now. Not with surveillance equipment, not with electroshock therapy, not with drugs, not with any goddamn the only good psychologist is a psychologist who can admit to themselves, I haven't lived the Lord's Prayer a day in my life, and I'm pretty sure my bastard relatives didn't either. So, wow, I suck. Thank you. No, you don't have to lay on my couch. I won't prescribe you any drugs. I'm not Malcolm in the Middle's mom. And did you make Sheldon up? Yeah, they did. Okay, so it's Jim Parsons, my dad. He's embarrassing. It's like, well, he's not the man my uncle was. No. I bet Jim Parsons himself would sit there and say, no, I didn't have to fight like hell to keep milk for the family to eat against friends that had to fight like hell to try for them to survive during the Roosevelt years. And no, I didn't have to do anything like that. I didn't have to go join the army to help justify my existence to live here because I was poor. I didn't have to, I didn't become a police officer, which was a horrible job in El Paso, especially next to Juarez, and then sit there and fight in the boxing because your dad was encouraging you to do it to make more money than you could being a police officer. And then throw the fight because you knew the Mexican guy needed the money more than you did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jim Parsons from Big Bang Theory sits there and goes, nah, Maybe when I grow up, I'll be a little bit more like your Uncle James instead of me, and then I'll be a drinking kind of man, and I'll understand why. That song reminds me. Me and my sister Linda of our Uncle James. Yeah. My dad, he hated me. He glared at me. That's because people compared and all that. But in every story he ever told to me, okay, every time my Uncle James would sit down and tell stories about me and about him and my dad was always the hero. Yeah, because I'm his son. And Uncle Jim would sit down and he always glared at me. He hated me. It's not when he talked to me, Dad. When he talked to me, your dad did this and your dad did that and then your dad did this. All these stories where my dad was the hero. That's all my Uncle James ever did when he talked to me about the good old days. Yeah, about to cry my ass off. I am crying my ass off. Damn you, Lopez. You... Everything everybody ever collected on my life was just an illusion given to them by selfish people that wanted to be a better person than me and haven't been a better person than me in spirit for how long? Damn, we're going to lose our bass player to another band. I know it. What was the song I was listening to? Oh, okay, yeah. I wonder if that was A.B. wrote that one about her and Chris. Amor prohibido. Don't you like that song? Oh, baby. She has such a good voice. Yeah, I like that song. I wonder if that is about her and Chris, though. Did anybody else like that song? I like it. Okay, I know there's lots of people that like it. There's all kinds of Selena t-shirts at the grocery store, and parents raise them on her. So I know. This is Selena. This is. And the funny thing is a lot of them have not heard the songs from Don Juan DeMarco. They haven't heard Tu Solo Tu and The Restless Bull. And I'm like, oh, those are probably her two best. Especially for New Mexicans, we're from the New Mexico territory, Arizona, New Mexico. I mean, those are our songs. Yeah. Those are canciones de mi padre in Tucson and, New Mexico. Tu solo tu. That is such a beautiful song. Yeah, oh gosh. And she tears it up. Yeah. And The Restless Bull, oh my gosh, her mischievous, oh God, it's gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. Now I'm connecting to Chris Perez and I'm going to start crying. No drinking beer. No, root beer floats for you after this. And then lots of exercise. Alcohol's bad for you, dude. Damn you, Chris. No, I have to get in line. Gabe, Mike, when Crowdcroft and, old Elijah thought he had the right to jump my ship because of all the trespassing perverts. They all feel comfortable jumping my ship because you have a goddamn TV with dish satellite with all the, yay. If you want to keep your job and be able to take your family shopping and all that, call him on everything he says. And they do. Lawrence doesn't know. Lawrence just kind of looks at the floor and just gets real quiet, just like my dad. Because they're not, there's a huge difference between the technology affecting people's brain activity in the 1930s and in the 1950s and 60s, okay, than there is in the 1980s and 90s and 2000s. That's why I don't get mad at Noah. The kid said I know, and his mom told me she would do that. When she laughed at me and told me, you never caught me red-handed doing anything. I said, what I caught you doing was bad enough. Natalie sat there and told me that she saw you masturbate with Brad Barnett on the Skype. That you guys were masturbating together. She told me 7-year-olds don't make that shit up at their doctor's appointment. That's bad enough. Okay. Those military sex predators are perverts, and that would have never happened if there wasn't debt and trespass and studying me to see if I was as good of a man at spying and dropping bombs and getting aircraft carriers as Tom Cruise and Dave Miscavige. If I was as good at de-weaponizing AI as Pope Leo and Pope Francis. If I was as good at mass murdering my own people to sell petroleum products as the asshole in Iran and all the assholes killing each other for mechanization in the Strait of Hormuz with Hormuz Jeff, right? Jerks. Fucking creepos, man. You know who you are, okay? And if you have people in your family that are brave enough and kind enough to pray for your eternity, to recognize the Messiah publicly immediately, you need to walk up to those people in that family. You need to get down on the floor and you need to kiss their feet with your grateful tears, okay? If it's Melania and Baron, you need to run to them now and then. Life's eternal grace is infinite. Baron is probably older than you in spirit and accepting the truth of the Messiah than you are. Now and then you need someone like me and old John McCain, who's your daddy? I don't care how old you are. Caiaphas and Herod, who's the spirit of father? Jesus. And they were physically older than him, but he was born a little old man to make sure that those bastards didn't try to kill him, to kill their brother and fuck their sister, right? She don't want you. She don't want nothing to do with you. We know that kind of stuff happened in King David's time because of people undermining, spying, and all their damn psychics and their protocols of Zion. We know how this stuff works, okay? Don't be upset because your son's more intelligent than you. Praise knee high. That you have someone in your family that can help protect you and save you from your own sin because he chooses righteousness, okay? Because his mom's sick of being city girls just seem to find out early how to open doors with just a smile. Okay. Well, you know how gossips are. TMZ's you be on shit when I say something. TMZ's gonna be on it like stink on shit, right? Inquirer, Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight, Fox News, C-SPAN, MSNBC, Bloomberg Network, NASA Channel. You know how bitches ain't shit and they ain't saying nothing. A billion motherfuckers cause it shows me nothing. They bees in the trap, bees in the trap. You wanna go use Drake's toilet? Costs $10,000 and it plays Tupac after you flush. It's like, why would you do that? Because he took a shit on Tupac because he hates him, because he's jealous of him, because everybody likes Tupac's music better than his even after Tupac's been dead for 20 years. It's like, well, because Tupac's stuff was real. And your stuff is pretending to be Curtis Jackson, and Curtis Jackson is playing off of his relative interactive bullshit for, he's playing it up, because bitches ain't shit, and they ain't saying drama mama, drama, jaw. He's the dramiest fucking jaw I ever saw. What do you think, you're John Singleton and shit? Well, go get to UCLA school, take HIV test, and then try to get busy with Janet Jackson. Put her in the Matrix. Come on, dummy. You gotta love me. Oh, man. Poor Vivica. I hope that was a military bot instead of her standing up for that stupid little transgender Peckerwood jumping my shit. And I said, what the fuck you got to do? No. And then that other guy, too. Hey, when I talked to Chadwick Boseman, stand up to the Lord's Prayer before you die. Hey, you're out of line, Mr. Parsons. You have no idea who the fuck I am. You have no effect of what I did, what I'm doing, and what I still have to do for you and Chadwick Boseman and his family, too. Seriously? What rock are you hiding under? Provincial or, what insurance company do you think is going to keep you safe from being mass murdered over money? Like I explained the law. From that damn telephone in that dorm room in that fucked up place called Pope Air Force Base that they had to shut down because the legend of that man was too much to keep the ghost alive in that place. Turned it into Tombstone and shit. it's a whatchamacallit base. And who knows, they probably tore down the base housing. The sexual legend of the Energizer Bunny of Love, yeah. Government housing, yeah. Me and government housing. Uh-huh. But, so sleeping on 2 kitchen chairs with a baseball bat across his lap to make sure he keeps his job at Southwest Airlines to pay the bills, right? Good old Earl. Sleeping in the doorway. With a baseball bat in the projects, yeah. Sleeping with a baseball bat, 2 kitchen chairs with the door wide open with a baseball bat. And he's like, come on in. Come on in. Swing away. I'm Joaquin Phoenix, you aliens. You funny. I know. Okay. But that's what I did. Yeah. Oh, Punchy's used to it. He's seen shit like that. He's from Kankakee in Alabama. I'm a pull shooting boy. My name is Willie McCoy, but around home they call me Slim. I'm looking for the king of 42nd Street, driving a drop top Cadillac. See, it took all my money, and it may sound funny, but it come to get my money back. No, I'm redeeming the Gospels. Okay? I'm redeeming Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, Hud, Muhammad, Malachi, Krishna, Siddhartha, Confucius. Oh, I'm redeeming people, serious, real, faithful, loving people that got turned into mythology by a bunch of assholes that have you sign a piece of paper and a waiver so they can have a camera in your house telling you what to do for their fake ass money. I mean, I am freaking gorgeous. Okay? I kicked the ball to your back of the net and everything you kicked at me, I smacked right back in your face and said, bitch, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Mm-hmm. World Cup. A drink of the truth of my life, and you will never fight for a gold cup ever again. You'll understand the truth of the glory of the soul that provides life to your body and the love that sustains your family, free from abuse and sodomy and economic training from a depth of a salesman, Arthur Miller, and Marilyn Monroe won't be high maintenance, right? You won't put out flowers on the place where they put her dead body till the day you die, and then the money runs out, right? Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Nation turns its lonely eyes to you. Woo, woo, woo. What's that you say, Mrs. Robinson? Jolton Joe has left and gone away. No more flowers for the funeral, for the graveyard of the people that have the Monroe grave. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. What was that one with Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis on that train with the I can't remember. Was it Too Hot? Something I can't remember. Yeah, it's crazy. Anything to get together, to get people into the club, to pay your bills with your phallic symbols and your sexual charisma cults, right? Shake your money maker. You know, all those people during COVID. This place is like a church. Billie Holiday was turned into a drug addict and raped to an early grave in those fucking churches you call clubs where you can sing money to pay your bills because you deny the Lord's Prayer. I say that's a church one more time. Church is where two people are gathered together in the faith of the Messiah and have women that will faithfully love him, just regardless of the fact that they try to, my mom, they'll kill you, Earl. Law, you're a loser, you're Pollyanna, and you get people killed, especially you. Okay, life's eternal and grace is infinite. If you're not living the Lord's Prayer, you're just fucking to pay the devil his ego and her and that bitch of a wife of his, their ego to justify your existence to live here, which you don't have to do. You're given life by the glory of grace, not by the ego of their talking, fucking, never shut the fuck up face. And they never shut up. And they don't want to shut up. If they can't tell everybody that they're God and they're great, they'd rather die. That's the way they are. And if you don't understand that, you buy their music, you watch their films, you buy their books, you buy their screenplays, you go to their buildings and you tell them exactly what they want to hear to do their economics, to do their history, to do their science, to do their math. Okay? This is a variable interest rate. That's X times PY squared. That's how to build a bomb to threaten to drop it on people that don't accept you as human authority and stop talking. We're the Wickershams, and damn it, Horton, there is no who. Yelp. Right? You're talking about the most evil people in the world. Thanks, Jeff. This really helped, man. Jeff Hinton, folks. Dealing with the academia of his British family that... mine's the kind of the opposite end of the fence. I'm, damn you, Potter. The head of the cute guy who's the captain of the Quidditch team, and fastest guy on the planet, can jump higher than anybody whenever he needs to. Whatever he needs to do, he gets it done. If he doesn't, want to publicly embarrass you, or the main thing was when I was young, it was just to keep from getting hurt. Okay, that was my governor on my engine. Because I'd go, Jesus, wait, when I play in the game, I jumped over people. Jesus, I can jump right over. And then when I play, I don't. That's because they'll hurt you because you'll embarrass them. And it's even if you get to dominate and all the white guys go, then you go ahead and you go play against the black guys. They push you in the pole. They go, Jordan rules. Oh, shit, yeah, okay. So it's not going to stop. Larry Bird would push you into the pole. Kevin McHale was clothesline you. Yeah, yeah. Magic Johnson, somebody knocked that fucker on his ass, just like Isaiah Thomas. And Michael Jordan, he'd done the same thing. Because he'd want to be the best, and he wouldn't be able to sit there and go, it's a white guy that looks like Jesus. It's a white guy that looks like Jesus is posterizing me, and every time I put the ball on the floor and come around, he steals it and takes off and tomahawks it. Fuck. And everybody screams and yells about how great this white guy is. He's better than me. And then he only played for 4 years because he wanted to go make love to his cute little Mexican wife in the mountains in Arizona and New Mexico. And then everybody said, well, if he hadn't quit, he still would have won way more championships than you. It's like, guys, just live the Lord's Prayer, go home and love your family. Then it never ends. That's how you keep the music playing. Okay? I like James Ingram too. Isn't that Patty Austin? I like Patty Austin. She has a good voice. Anybody else like Patty Austin? She has a real pretty voice. Yeah, gorgeous little voice. Yeah, sweetie. She has... I don't know how sweetie she was. Sometimes, you meet those divas like that Kathy Marks, like they get real bitchy and they're real snotty and they think you can't pay them a compliment, or they think, have you ever met, there's white women like that too, the hot blonde syndrome. Well, black women, you pay them a compliment, you're just wanting to have sex with me. Oh, really, Anita Hill? Seriously? Oh, go be a lawyer. Everything's got to end with sex with you when a man's being nice. That's happened to me so many times. I can't tell you how many times he wanted to have sex with me. He was trying to hit on me. No, you think about things. There are a lot of women, nuns, that want to, have sex with Jesus in heaven. And life's eternal and grace is infinite. And Adam, Moses, Jesus, John. So you get accused of, that guy's a pervert. It's not my fault that, I'm the spirit of Jesus, and most women would rather have sex with him than the asshole that sodomizes them because they got too much bad Catholic school training in New York. You know what I'm saying? It's not my fault. As a matter of fact, it's wrong. It's imbalance. So like Saladin told me in Sierra Vista outside of Fort Huachuca, you need to claim your destiny. This is your legacy. And you need to make sure that we have more husbands for the wives. No more holy fucking crusades. And then also, share, care, give in accordance, need, built to last. You can't have any more wives and children than you could lovingly care and provide for, which means you have to have very healthy sexual practices that are mutually beneficial for one another. We know how to, there's not really much studying with that, guys. When you're young, oral gratification with healthy hygiene practices, and it's mutual, and you don't go do it for other people and break down immune systems through stress and because typically what happens is the male, typically, and I'm saying this always happens because this got reversed, the male will cause the problem by cheating on the female, typically. Okay. Because men are so dominant and abusive with violence for sex and with sex. Okay. But since civilization, the women have been more of the cause of the sexually transmitted diseases, like Still Pulse, me and Brian's Lego bees, Lego bees, right? Fools take up the offer. They say stolen water is sweet. She has no consideration. That's like she likes them cheap, but you have yourself to blame for that by not accepting the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer and having the courage and kindness to stand up for it eternally. So, you know what I'm saying? If there's a problem with the bitch, there's a problem with the pup. And why is there a problem with the bitch? Because the dick that fucks her ain't nothing but a hound dog, right? Crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit. You ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit. Updike yourself. You ain't no friend of mine. Don't believe assholes that put themselves into a script and can't live the gospels to save their children's lives from their egos. All right? Love y'all. Peace out, man. We'll talk later.